point of the article, the reason they published the article, is to attack Vladimir Putin in Russia and to attack the Bolivarian governments. And it's talking about the new rise of authoritarianism around the world. And it gives us this lovely paragraph here, and I'm going to read it to you. In one country after another, elected leaders, do you hear that? Elected leaders. In one country after another, elected leaders gradually attacked deep tissues of democracy. Now, what are these deep tissues? The independence of the courts, the business community, the media, civil society, universities, and sensitive state institutions like the civil service, the intelligence agencies, and the police. Whether the agent of destruction is a right-wing nationalist like Vladimir Putin in Russia or a left-wing Bolivarian socialist like Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, the effect is the same. The structures and norms of democracy are eviscerated one by one until all that is left is a hollow shell. Translation for you. Here's what he's saying, basically. In all these countries, all these institutions that he named, right? The courts, civil society, the universities, sensitive state institutions, intelligence agencies, the police, all of them de facto are supposed to serve Wall Street and London, right? The courts are supposed to rule in favor of Wall Street and London. The business community is supposed to be, submissive so Wall Street and London corporations can come in there and dominate the economy. The police are supposed to, arrest people who go on strike and enforce the will of international corporations. Every institution across the developing world, every institution across the entire world is supposed to serve the United States. And these countries, like Russia, like Venezuela, like Bolivia, like Nicaragua, they elect leaders who go in there and change that. Change that. So, lo and behold, people around the world want their courts and their business community and their civil society institutions and their universities not to serve Wall Street and London anymore. They want them to serve the domestic population. So a leader that they elect comes in there and changes that. That is dictatorship. This is crazy to me, right? They're basically saying that the natural order, the way things are supposed to be, is the USA and Wall Street and London having a global monopoly and running the world, right? And when all these institutions like universities, like police, like courts, when they stop serving the West, when they stop serving Wall Street and London, they're no longer independent. When they're doing what they're supposed to do, they rule anybody. Let's talk about it, right? What happened in Russia in the 1990s? Was Russia's court system and civil society and all of that independent in the 1990s and now it's not? No. Boris Yeltsin's government was working for Wall Street. It was working for Bill Clinton. And they went in there and they gutted the country like crazy. The population was overwhelmingly against the economic reforms that were forced on Russia in the 1990s. However, the courts and the universities and the civil society all enforced the will of Wall Street. Right? That's back when they were independent. And then, as things changed, as the country moved away from that, as Putin got in there and started restructuring the economy, now those institutions serve Russia. So, they're no longer independent. They're independent when they do what Wall Street wants. Venezuela, same story. In the 1990s in Venezuela, was the Venezuelan court system independent when it blocked people from going on strike, when it put communists in jail? Were the police independent? Were the universities independent when they pushed free market ideology and said that the United States was great and that the communism was evil? Were these universities all independent? They're independent if they do what Wall Street and London say. And they're then all of a sudden becoming dictatorial and authoritarian when they start doing what is in the interests of Venezuelans, right? This is really shocking here. All over the world. What he's saying here is all over the world, the courts, the universities, the policing agencies, they're all supposed to serve Wall Street and London. And when they stop doing that, the country's becoming a dictatorship, even if they do it because of elected leaders. No one disputes that Vladimir Putin won the elections. No one in their right mind can dispute that Hugo Chavez and Bolivarianism won the elections. But when elected leaders get in there and change the nature of the political system so that it doesn't de facto allow the rule of Wall Street and London, that's dictatorship, right? Democracy is dictatorship. That's what he's saying. He's saying that the will of the people being enacted in Russia and in Latin America is dictatorship. If the people want the courts and the universities and the policing agencies and civil society and business to change, and they elect a leader who will change it, that's dictatorship. It's democracy as long as the West wins, and it's dictatorship as when people they don't like win. He's saying that, right? Elected leaders. I mean, it can't get more blatant. They're basically admitting here that if you change the nature of the way these institutions work, all of a sudden they're no longer independent. They can't make it more blatant. I'm fired up about this because it's like so many people I know will read this stuff and just digest this garbage. No one, I mean, wow. So if anything good happens, it's dictatorship, right? If the nature of the courts change, if the nature of any of these civil institutions changes, then it becomes a dictatorship. This is blatant. It's blatant. It's a democracy if they like it. It's a dictatorship if they don't. Can they be more blatant about this? Sorry I'm getting fired up here, folks. I'm having a great time. I know there's plenty of people that got things they want to talk about. Now, if Tulsi Gabbard becomes president, media will call her a dictator. Oh, I'm sure that would be the case, right? If somebody got in who did what was against the interests of Wall Street and London, all of a sudden they're a dictatorship, because the way things are supposed to work is the independent tissue of democracy is supposed to serve Wall Street and London. And when it stops doing that, it's becoming a dictatorship, right? I mean, that's what he's saying. I mean, the highlighted quote: elected leaders are attacking the deep tissue of democracy. That's what he's... Elected leaders are attacking the deep tissue of democracy. It stops being a democracy when it starts eroding the power of Wall Street and London. That's what they're saying. They're blatantly saying that. They're spelling it out in plain English. It becomes a dictatorship when civil society starts to change.